G'day there, welcome back to another episode of the Aussie Lawn. What have we been? It's been about 4 weeks since we last checked in on this putting green, so I thought today's probably a good day to do it. Beautiful winter's day here. Temperatures are just that nice sort of weather that you just want to soak up the sunshine. The clouds take the sun away just like it's about to now for a minute or two, and that's a bit cool, but once the cloud passes, the sun shines back out, and it's just a perfect day to be outside. There's just this tiny little breeze, and mate, if this is winter, I can handle this. I just can't handle those frosty cold starts. And look, we've had 4 frosts now, so I'm going to keep a little tab on that. So 4 frosts so far for the season, and that way it's just going to give you guys a little bit of an idea of how many frosts the various turf grasses, obviously the Santa Ana here and the Buffalo around the side, how many frosts they can take before they start to lose colour. But I mean, if you have a look here now, it's pretty amazing. You would swear that this could easily on camera, I guess, pass for a bent green or something along those lines, but no, it's just dirty old couch grass, and obviously those Plant Doctor products are having some positive effects on this area. As you saw there, I've just finished giving it a cut. Didn't get a lot of grass off it this time, but I'm not too concerned about that. But I reckon it's about time we give this a little dose of iron. As I said, we've only just put the fertiliser down just recently with the liquid Plant Doctor stuff, so we don't need to worry about that. But I thought today they have actually sent me some iron to try out. So normally I run with a commercial brand of iron, but Plant Doctor have sent some stuff to try, so I'm going to chuck that out today, and then we'll check back in a few days time and see if it's any better, see if it works, how well it works, the response we get, etc. So I thought we'd have a look at the little bare areas around here and how they're holding up, and just have a general little look around the place. Little tiny patch of Tiff Tuff up the back corner, and I just want to have a little look at it, see how it's going with the frost. And there's a little bit of Queensland Blue. I've got a little bit of Queensland Blue, so you can just get to an idea of what plants can tolerate what level of frost. And we may have a little sneaky look at that Buffalo, because at this stage nothing's changed on it. It's holding colour quite well, even the bit that we didn't treat with the Envy. Anyway, enough of me blabbing on. Let's get on with it. Righto, so this was one of our bare areas of concern following the renovation that we did earlier on in the year. And for any of those that are new to the channel, I did a really intense late season renovation with the scarifier. I just wanted to drop that thing down. I got the opportunity after a lot of rain, and I got the opportunity to drop that down to its lowest setting and tear up this green basically. And a lot of people thought I'd lost my marbles, and probably have, but bad luck. Anyway, this was one of the areas, well, it was sort of out here at the time, but really now we're just down to this area, which is probably about as big as my hand, and a few little areas here which probably wouldn't be as obvious if I did top dress at the time. It's a little bit lumpy and bumpy just through these areas, but apart from that, it's not too bad. I just wanted to show you guys that, like everybody, I'm human, and some things don't always turn out perfectly, but yeah, it's recovering nicely. And obviously in spring, when we do a full renovation, this will just be a distant memory. So let's have a look now at what the results are after the way back when I put the wood heater in my house. I put a wood fire in, and I had to reverse my car across the corner of the green there to get that fire in the back door, and I left some wheel tracks, so I managed to rectify them at the time. But let's just have a look at that, and then we'll go on from there. Okay, so I'll try and find a picture, and I'll attach the picture to what happened here initially. But you can sort of see along here there's a darker line through here, and that was one of the wheels that just left a bit of an impression as I backed down. You can see a few little thinner areas, and that's where I put the fork in and just lifted it up to level it out. So again, come springtime, a bit of top dressing, and that's going to take care of that. These lines here, because I've put contours in this green on purpose, just for a bit of character, because the putting green obviously has contours. It's not perfectly flat. It's not a bowling green. It's not a croquet court. Just find the mowers just nipping in a little bit on the angles, I guess, because obviously it's a flat surface, and it's cutting 22 inches, I think those things are, 21, 22 inches wide. So you're going to get unfortunately you're going to get little scarring bits like this, and that's going to be again more predominant because it's a couch lawn, and it's going to sort of cut into the top of that crown a little bit more on that one side depending on the angles that you mow. Now you wouldn't notice this at all if it was a bent green or something along those lines, but as I said, we've got the couch here, so unfortunately every now and then we're going to get a little bit of that. Another thing that would have added to that is, as this just snuck out of the PGR cycle, it just sort of wore off. You get that initial little growth spurt, and it probably caught me off guard a little bit at the time, but look, it's probably going to show up worse on the camera. The camera seems to bring up white highlights a lot more than what they are if you're actually sitting here with me having a look. See, it's actually not that noticeable, but I can see it when I look into the screen of the camera. So yeah, so that's sort of what's happening there. Iron isn't going to correct things like that. Iron's only going to correct colour in leaf, so it's not going to turn white areas green by any stretch. So yeah, it might do a little bit, but it's not its main reason for me wanting to put it down. One of the things I think some of you may remember earlier on in the piece when I first did this, I actually did say I'm actually not a golfer, and I do all of this stuff to keep my finger in the greenkeeping pie, because although I'm no longer doing greenkeeping professionally, I still have a very keen interest in it, so I like to be able to just sort of practice what I learnt a bloody long time ago. But I thought, let's just have a little putt on this and let's just see how this is rolling. See if I can get the ball to go in the little hole there. And yeah, you can get an idea if how smooth it is or how smooth it's not. So yeah, let's have a look. Okay, so I've got a few little patches of Queensland Blue Couch around the place, and you'll see it dies out early on. It dies out in funny little patches, and you can get this on all sorts of grass when the frost first starts hitting, but this looks like little burnt patches around the place. And traditionally here, Queensland Blue will burn right off to the ground to nearly nothing, and then in spring it always comes back strong. But yeah, it just leaves you these funny little patches around the place, and like that one there and there and there. But that's all that is. That's just frost damage. So if you see that this time of year on a lot of, I've seen it on kikuyu, I've seen it on couch grass, generally on grasses that are cut a little bit longer. So this is just right on mower area, and I've got that mower set on about 2.5 inches or something like that. So you're likely to get these sort of little areas that do that. Let's have a look at a bit of Tiff Tuff, and I'll show you a bit of Santarana couch that I do nothing with up the back. So you'll get an idea of just how much benefit feeding your lawn going into winter actually can do for you. Okay, so this is my tiny little patch of Tiff Tuff that I managed to get my hands on. It's probably about 2 square metres. I managed to get this off a mate of mine who's actually a landscape gardener, and he did a project on a local sports field. He relayed the sports field and installed a cricket wicket using washed Tiff Tuff. So I was able to get my hands on a couple of pieces that he had left over. Now, it's generally, how have I found it so far? It seems to be probably one of the more thatchy lawns one of the more thatchy couches that I've encountered. My main experience with couch grasses have been Greenleys Park, Santarana couch, Windsor green, wintergreen, and also a little bit of Tiff dwarf. But it has, just the tips of this have sort of browned off just a little bit, like this section here is, and through here, a little bit through here, and this section here is all a little bit frost, just a little bit of frost. But generally speaking, for something that's been just set, forget and neglected, it's actually going pretty well. Hopefully in springtime I'm going to actually do some turfing with this stuff out the front. So I'll have a proper area that's properly looked after that we can do a bit more with, and I can give you some more feedback on. If you're looking for a couch grass, I would put it on your shopping list for sure. But my first initial impressions of this are it seems to be very thatchy and thick. So just keep that in mind when you're shopping for couch grass. But yeah, as I said, nice and lush. As I said, this has also had the same amount of frost on it. But let's quickly duck over and look at some Santa Ana couch that I've done absolutely nothing with, and you'll soon see how important that winter fertilisation or autumn fertilisation can be for your lawn. Righto, well, excuse the dead summer grass, excuse the bits of crabgrass and little bits of poa. In amongst all that weed is some very, very hungry, very neglected Santa Ana couch. So you can see the benefits of actually feeding as you go into winter. And this would still be as vigorous as everything else. The reason I don't worry about this area so much is being on such a large block, being on town water, you've got to draw a line somewhere, and I just cannot irrigate the whole place. It's irresponsible for starters, and it's just unnecessary. It really is, because we can get a really good season and I can have a nice backyard, beautiful, or you can come out of a drought that we had here and I didn't have a blade of grass out here at all. So you've got to work in with nature a little bit. That's one of the joys here of Australia. You're either feast or famine, droughts or flooding rains. Righto, this is the section of buffalo that we've treated with the Envy Frost Protection spray. And as you can see, it's holding fantastic colour still, this stuff. I mean, this Sapphire Buffalo, given a good feed coming into winter, has really, really got its A game on. So then we'll come around here to the area that I did not spray with Envy, and although it's still green, when you come down, you can start to see just signs of damage. So early indicators could suggest to me, and it's still far too early to tell, early indicators could suggest that this Envy spray has the potential. So as again, we'll come around here to the areas that have been treated, and wow, I really think it could be doing something. What do you guys reckon? Put it in the comment below. Tell me if you think it's actually doing anything or not. Okay, so that was the first time I've actually trialled using the Plant Doctor iron. They've only sent me that liquid iron the other day, so that's the first time I've had to use it. So I've gone with a lighter rate. The rates on the bottle are anywhere from 150 mils through to 400 millimeters per 100 square meters of turf. So I've decided to go at 250 millimeters, so just on the lighter side of things. As I said, we're just trying to keep a bit of colour, a bit of warmth. It's not the peak growing season. Anyway, look, I've probably kept you guys long enough today. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. And also, if you want to, check me out on Facebook. There's the link below. And we will see you here next time on the Aussie Lawn.